Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to The Melissa Made Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Hello, and welcome to the Melissa Made Show. And I keep reminding myself to take a deep breath because I just got done with my workout. And I'm like, I need to record this podcast because I don't know about you, but I do my best thinking either on my walks, sometimes in the shower, but definitely when I'm doing my workout. My brain just starts to go wild. And as I'm recording this, it is December 28th, 2023. And I'm thinking about 2024 and how we all, including myself, reflect on how the last year went. And then also, what improvements do we want to make in 2024? Of course, there's probably just joy and happiness. There's relationships, there's money, there's careers. And then there's your health, which is always a big one for good reason, because you're nothing without your health. All the other things that you want to have in your life are going to be more fulfilled by having a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle. So I was thinking on that. And this is going to be a quick episode of me just giving my loyal listeners a dose of tough love. And I'm coming from a place of being there myself. Please understand that it's not out of judgment, but people that I love have gone through this. I myself have gone through this several times. And we just need sometimes that little swift kick in the butt to be reminded that you have more control than you think you do. So the reason I'm coming here is because I say this to my clients all the time, and I've said it on social media. So for some of you, this may be old hat, something you've heard me say many times, but I think it's a really good reminder this time of year that you are in control. Bottom line, you are in control. So as a practitioner, I have access to a lot of education. I'm a part of a lot of portals, groups. I don't even know what you call them, but you have to be educated and you have to be in the health and fitness space. You have to be a doctor, you have to be a dietitian, nutritionist, nutritional therapy practitioner. Like, you can't just be like a health coach. You have to have some education, and having your education puts you into these spaces where you can, recommend, and you can get testing, and you can get supplements and nutraceuticals for your clients that the average person can't get. And you guys know me, and you know my education. I live in these places. There's chemists, there's scientists, there's doctors, there's dietitians, there's everything under the sun, educating those that are a part of these groups, and everything from, of course, gut health. I'm extensively trained on that. Hormones, blood chemistry, you name it. There's just all of this education that you can absorb. And I spend a lot of time in there, and I have learned so much, and I feel like I can help people on such a deep level. I feel very prepared to do that. And a lot of times I will have people just ask me random questions on social media. I'll have people come to me saying, can you help me? I'll have people that will go and purchase testing and then reach out to me and, ask for me to help, decipher it for them, which I do all of that. But here's where the tough love comes in. Gut health, so freaking important. Your hormones being balanced, so important. Getting blood chemistry and looking to see if you have some, micronutrient deficiencies or things going on that really are not making you feel your best. So important. But please understand that the first thing you have to look at is your lifestyle. And as much as I want you to come to me and say, man, I'm just not feeling well, I really think it's my gut. And we do a GI map. And maybe we do find some things that need to be balanced, or, heaven forbid, you've got parasites, or, you've got fungus, or you've got, H. pylori is through the roof. You've got E. coli. I don't know. And we can help with that if we don't first start with how you live your life. All of that stuff is so minimal to the impact that you can have on your life, absolutely free of charge. Okay. These tests are not cheap. Supplements are not cheap. All of them can help you. But if you come to me and tell me you want your hormones checked, and I don't, as a practitioner, ask you what your lifestyle looks like first, and I don't help you with your lifestyle first, then I am robbing you. Okay. And any other practitioner that does that is in the same boat. You should never just be like, okay, let's check your hormones. We can fix you by fixing your hormones, or let's check your gut. We can fix you by fixing your gut. It's a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my French. But the first thing that needs to be looked at is the lifestyle. And goodness, I'm a broken record, but let's just go through that really fast. For this new year, we have to look at the food that you put in your body. Oh, it's so tough out there right now on social media. For you to eat organic, whole food with plenty of protein, some healthy fats in there, some, fibrous carbohydrates in there, is absolutely the best thing you can do for yourself. There's no doubt about it. No one can dispute that. But then you've got people saying, food doesn't have a good or bad, and you should be able to eat what you want and, not feel bad for eating something. Then other people are like, I always use donuts. I love donuts. Don't get me wrong. A simple glazed donut makes me happy, but I think they're probably the quote, excuse me, the quote unquote worst food you can eat. I always call it fried sugar, because you're combining those donuts. That oil is just constantly reheated and becomes more and more rancid and oxidized. And then the donut itself is nothing but, gluten and sugar, and it's deep fried in this old rancid oil. And then we eat it. It's quite literally, in my opinion, the worst thing on the planet you can eat for your health. Do what you want with that. You want to have a donut. I mean, I used to cringe, and Sean doesn't do it anymore. His donut Friday, once a week, having one donut, sure, fine. But if you're doing it every morning with your cup of coffee, it's probably not that good for you. Anyway, I digress. People saying, eat the donut. You only live once. Other people saying they're just bad for you. Why would you eat it? You want to live your best life. So there's always two ends of the spectrum on everything. So that being said, you know what you need to put in your body. And depending on the state of your health right now, people that are extremely active and eat well 90% of the time are the ones usually telling you, go have the donut, you're going to be fine. Versus if you had somebody who, worked in a cubicle and, was sedentary 16 hours a day, the only time they really got up is to go to the bathroom, or to, to get in their car and drive home, just very sedentary. And they're the kind of people that probably wouldn't say, or that you would listen to, that says, it's okay, eat the donut, you only live once. So it depends on who it's coming from. And we tend to think, when we look at somebody super fit and we're like, hey, they're saying it's okay to, go through the drive-through and every once in a while get that. Well, for them, every once in a while is every once in a while, versus somebody who maybe does it on a more regular basis for whatever reason. So I'm just saying, we need to look at the foods that you're eating, and depending on your goals and how much work you have to do to get yourself back to an optimal state, depends on how well you feed yourself. But there's just no disputing, the better you feed yourself, the better you're going to feel, and the better you're going to look. Okay. That's indisputable. So we have to look at that. You need movement. Again, with the conveniences of, if you're as old as me, I don't know if you remember not having a remote control and having to get up every time you needed to change the channel, having to get out of your car to lift up the garage door and get back in the car to put your car in the garage instead of having the garage door opener, all these silly things that just created movement that we don't have or need anymore. And so you just got to make sure that you move a lot during the day. That they say that sitting is the new smoking, that you're just not sitting in the chair most of the time. That's what I love about the Oura ring. It'll tell you how long you were sedentary, and you're like, ooh, I have a goal to not be sedentary for more than 7 hours in a day. And you might be thinking, gosh, that's a lot to sit on your tush for 7 hours. But I'm telling you, let me look at my Oura ring right now real fast. I'll tell you how sedentary I was yesterday. I only took 8,700 steps. I didn't hit my goal. And move every hour. I didn't get any alerts, but I was inactive for 9 hours and 58 minutes. So 10 hours out of the 16 hours I was up, I was inactive. That's really not that good. And it's red for those of you that have the Oura ring. So yesterday I didn't move a whole lot. I didn't know that. I should have looked at it. Now I feel bad. But activity, obviously strength training is important for muscle development and for strong bones. So all of that, you've got the healthy foods, you've got the movement that you need to do. You've got to look at your stress, change and get rid of stress that you don't have to have. That's totally in your hands. How are you doing with outside stressors? Do you watch news channels that stress you out? Do you watch social media accounts that stress you out? Do you have friends that stress you out? Do you have family members that stress you out? You can make changes to those. Okay. You can filter that stuff out so you're not so stressed. Then there's stress that you can't get rid of. Maybe you have right now a toddler and they're terrible twos. You can't get rid of the kid. So you have to learn how to manage that stress. Maybe you're right now in a relationship that's being strained. You don't want to get rid of that relationship. You want to work on it, but it is giving you stress. Traffic to get to work. It's your only way to work, gives you stress. You've got a mother-in-law, like I always say, that stresses you out. You can't get rid of the mother-in-law as much as you would. So you have to learn how to deal with the stress that you can't filter out. And that could be, doing gratitude, meditation, deep breathing exercises, but that's important as well. How's your hydration? So freaking important. So it's these things, the eating clean, the exercise, the movement, the stress, the hydration, all of that stuff, the sleep. Oh my gosh, the sleep. So important. So you take all of those components, that is what you have control of. And that really is no out of pocket. And it's really not going to take too much time away from all the other things you have to do in order to get all of that, the healthier food, the drinking your water, the making sure you're getting a good night's sleep, the, working on the stress. It's going to be a little bit hard at first, but it's going to become second nature. And when you get all of that in control, and you can come to me or your doctor or, somebody else that you love, that you admire, the way that they live their life, and say, I would love your mentorship. I would love your accountability. I would love for you to help me. I'm doing all of these things and I still don't feel 100%. I still don't feel super, super good in my own skin. Then you come to somebody and say, oh man, I'd really like to have, a GI map done because I feel like I'm doing everything right. Just yesterday, I had a consultation. We went through her GI map and she is doing very well, but she just still felt a little off. And so she did the GI map, and she is a candidate that I'm glad that she did it, because she's like, I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is. And there were some things that we can absolutely, I told her I loved her gut. I loved studying her gut because I learned so much. She's just one of those people that has just a few tweaks that are going to make a huge difference for her, but aren't going to be super cumbersome to get her gut back to where it should be. She had dysbiosis. She had, they're called your commensal or your keystone bacteria, your good stuff. And then you have opportunistic or overgrowth bacteria, which is not the good stuff. You need both. But if they're out of whack, then, you're going to feel that. Her H. pylori was high. Like her Akkermansia, you've heard me talk about, that was below detectable levels. And so just making these tweaks and giving her a 3-month protocol, it's going to be night and day difference for her. And she felt so validated by seeing that, because she's like, I feel like I'm doing everything right. And we went through all of the lifestyle stuff. The only thing that she admitted that she could be better on is drinking water. So that's not too bad, but getting more water in her system and going through this 3-month protocol to help get her gut back to optimal. Oh, she's going to just feel fantastic. And so that's the person that I love to see do a GI map, is when they look at that lifestyle, which is the point of this whole podcast, is for you to understand that nobody, I'm sorry, even you'll see people that'll just talk about age. Oh, it's your age. You're not losing the weight and everything. It's because your hormones are out of whack and you need to, get your hormones checked and get on these peptides and stuff like that. There's no mention first of have a real talk with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and have that talk. Melissa, are you really fueling your body properly? Are you really taking time to relax and to not be stressed out from sun up to sundown? Are you getting the water in you need? How's the sleep? All of those things. If you can check every single box or almost every single box, there's maybe one thing, but not enough for you to go, okay, this cannot be the reason that I still feel so yucky. Then get the GI map, then get the food sensitivity test, then get the hormones checked, then get a blood chemistry panel and look to see if your iron is low and all that stuff. But all of that stuff in conjunction with changing your lifestyle can be very helpful, but it never should be done without looking at the lifestyle first. So for 2024, I don't know when this will come out. It might be the first podcast in January. Might be perfect timing. I want you to really just have that tough love talk with yourself. You've heard me give you a tough love talk. Now I want you to have it with yourself and say, what changes can I make? Weight gain. It can be so hard to avoid, especially when we're binge watching our favorite shows and getting invited to party after party. And it's frustrating when we're working really hard and everything seems to be going right, but yet that scale keeps creeping up and up. But I recently learned a really interesting fact about how weight gain works and the super simple ways that we can control it. So I was chatting with Tina Anderson. Now she's the founder of Just Thrive Probiotics, and you definitely want to check out the podcast that we did together. It's really good. She told me that when it comes to fat burning, you and I are basically at the mercy of two specific hunger hormones. Now stay with me. I promise this won't get too sciencey. Now these hormones, which are controlled by your gut, are responsible for switching off your fat storing and switching on your fat burning. Interesting, right? So when your gut can properly parent these hormones, your body literally absorbs less fat from the food you eat and burns the excess fat that you have. Yes, please and thank you. But thanks to our modern toxic world, it's way too easy for these hormones to misbehave and to kind of run amok. So when this happens, we end up choosing foods that we know are bad for us. We're eating more foods, even when we're not hungry. And we're making bad food choices because we think that it just might possibly boost our down mood. Now, that's why it is so important to support the health of your gut so that you get these hormones under control. Now, thanks to Tina, my go-to gut support is Just Thrive Probiotic. If you've been following me, you know I'm obsessed with gut health. Up to 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. So a healthy gut is truly the master key to staying resilient and feeling your best. And with Just Thrive Probiotic, I feel confident that I'm giving my body what it needs to stay strong and balance my hunger hormones so I can avoid unwanted pounds. I trust Just Thrive because their probiotic has more clinical research than anything else out there. You hear that? I love that it's vegan, it's non-GMO, it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, and free from anything artificial. And it's even safe for kids. You can literally break open the capsule and sprinkle it onto any food or drink because Just Thrive strains are so resilient. They are all natural and do not even come alive until they get into your intestines. Now, seriously, I can mix it into smoothies or bake it into any recipe without losing the potency. Now, as a bonus, Just Thrive Probiotic can even support beautiful skin, better sleep, and a brighter mood. Just Thrive is my secret weapon for weight management. And right now, you can save 15% off their award-winning probiotic when you go to justthrivehealth.com and use the promo code MelissaMade at checkout. You know the statistics. I don't want you on January 1st or 2nd, hopefully in your diet bet, in the diet bet with Brianne and I, that you're not trying to make a complete overhaul from December 31st, where you're out partying, drinking, eating more than you probably should have, to waking up January 1st or even January 2nd, because you have a party on January 1st, and just thinking that you can change everything and you're going to make it through because you've got determination and willpower. Please don't do that to yourselves. Start slow. And, you got the list. Ready? Water, stress, sleep, good food, meditation or gratitude, strength training, step goal. Like, think of those 7 things and really focus on one, maybe for a week. You are going to see a huge uptick in the way that you look and feel by just changing one thing at a time. And you're not going to feel overwhelmed, and you'll kind of make it second nature before you add something else. So if right now you're like, I'm not drinking enough water, and you're not, I want you to go onto Amazon right now and find yourself the cutest little water vessel, whatever it is, preferably glass, and buy it. And it's your new best friend. And work on that water for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and then jump to the next thing of, say, for instance, maybe you want to try a little bit of fasting. So instead of waking up and the first thing you do is pour yourself a cup of coffee and have a biscotti, you wait at least an hour. I was talking to my client about this. It's not even intermittent fasting to wait an hour before you start eating, because when you wake up, none of you, including myself, jump out of bed and are ready to go run 3 miles. You need a little bit of time for your body to wake up. You don't wake up with all of your shit just functioning well, right? Your brain's still turning on. Your heart's waking up. Your muscles are warming up. So your body's really not ready to digest. That takes a lot of energy. You don't wake up and put food in your mouth and have your body just start instantly, digesting. Wake up the pancreas, wake up the gallbladder, get the pituitary going, all of this stuff. So give it at least an hour. That's just science, to give yourself at least an hour. And then 2 hours before you go to bed, don't have anything in your belly. Go to bed. You don't have to go to bed with an empty digestive system, but at least your tummy. It's going to take you an hour or two to get food that you've chewed out of your belly and into your small intestine, where it will do all of its magic, and then the large intestine. And then hopefully you wake up and you got to poop. But to go to bed without all of that hard digesting in the stomach going on, you're just going to get into a better night's sleep. So that's an hour after you wake up and 2 hours before you go to sleep. That still could technically be considered fasting. Maybe not. It's still great. Here I go again. I digress. But really just trying something and incorporating it for 3, 5, 7 days. And then again, incorporate something else. You're going to start maybe strength training. Maybe you're not strength training right now. And so you commit to a program. There's so much out there right now. Of course, Body has a great selection of strength training. YouTube has a lot of greats. I think it's Caroline Gervin, I think is how you say her name. She's got free workouts. Freaking fantastic. I can't not say the Be Fit app is fantastic. So you have more options than you know what to do with. And I even know, so Body and Be Fit, and I think Caroline Gervin all have 30-minute workouts. You can get it done in 30 minutes. So do that for a week and just get it into your system, and then the next thing you're going to move on is maybe trying to snack a little less and just working on 3 meals, and then making sure when you look at your plate, it's colorful. You could just make little tiny tweaks. Gosh, I could go on forever, but just always leveling up. Okay. 2024 is your year to level up, and never being like stagnant or regressing. Now, we're all going to have those moments where maybe we've got sadness in our life for a reason, or we've got extra stress that we just can't do anything about, whatever. And we might regress a little bit, but just being hypersensitive, really aware of the fact that you are in that state, and you're going to, try to just maintain where you are and get through this tough time, so that when you're ready to get back into it, you can start moving forward again, but never going back for a long length of time. It gets to the point that you just throw your hands up in the air. If it's been a long weekend or something, or a really bad day, and you kind of just went on a frenzy, who cares? That's nothing. But when you allow yourself to do it for weeks on end is when you really start to get in that funk, and you're like, I give up. I've got too far to go. So don't let yourself get there, and pick these little tiny changes that maybe it gets bled into, I want to be a cleaner person, so I'm going to once a week clean out something, or I want to be more organized, or I want to learn a second language, or I want to read more books. I want to volunteer more. Today, I pick up a kitty, fostering another kitty today, little shy kitty with an upper respiratory infection. So anyway, just level up. Okay. 2024 is your time to level up. And please don't wake up January 2nd. Maybe this will come out January 1st. Don't wake up tomorrow and bombard yourself with trying to change so many things in your life. Okay. That never works. It never works. And it's not fun. Have little small wins, do little small changes, and tell yourself, okay, for the whole month of 2024, if I change one little one tiny thing a week, say, for instance, you don't make your bed and you decide for 2024, you're going to make your bed every single morning. And 1 week you commit to doing it 1 week, then it just becomes second nature. By the end of 2024, you will have 50 freaking 2 new habits, great, healthy habits that you've incorporated. And can you imagine where you'll be in 2025? So there's my short podcast. All to say that as a practitioner, as a nutritional therapy practitioner, I want you to understand that I am here for you. If you know your gut's out of whack and you need help with that, or you've had a blood chemistry panel and you just want us as friends to kind of go over what it is, what do I do? My iron's low. Hormones, you've had you want to get a Dutch test, or you've had one and you're like, like my daughter, sorry, honey. Sometimes she listens to the podcast, sometimes she doesn't. So if she listens to this, I love you. She had her hormones tested, and the only thing that was kind of out of whack was her progesterone. She's 27 years old, but something was out of whack. And so I'm glad she had that testing done. And now her and the doctor are working on that. That's super cool. I'm here for you for that as well. But let's just be real. You've got to look at that lifestyle first. Get your lifestyle in check, and you'd be flabbergasted, dumbfounded by how much all this other stuff that you think is your gut and your hormones and micronutrient deficiencies get better or go away because your lifestyle is more in alignment with your goals. Okay. And then you can do these things. Or if you are already doing the healthy lifestyle, then they are there for you. But please start with your lifestyle. Take ownership of it. Please don't let any of these influencers tell you that it's a product that you need. It's a test that you have to get done. They're important. And even I am here to tell you they're important. And I think they need to be used. Absolutely. But it's usually not the first line of defense. The first line of defense is you looking in the mirror, having that real talk with yourself, making a list of all the things that you would love to get done. And it can be an extensive list, but don't you dare look at it and go, okay, I'm going to incorporate all these and just be a better person in 2024. You can be a better person in 2024 by just grabbing one and working on it for a little while, and then grabbing that second one, because you are still leveling up every single day, just on a more slower and consistent level than all at once, where most people tend to fail because it's overwhelming. And let's face it, we're already overwhelmed. The world is hard right now. The world is hard. So signing off. I'm sure this is coming out in 2024, and because it's the 20th of December. So duh. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And here for you as always. So I'm here to help you with your lifestyle change, of course, on an intimate level. I'm here to help you with all of the testing if you feel like you need it. And here to be your friend if you need that too. So as always, I hope you wake up feeling prepared, and I hope you go to bed feeling proud. Love you guys. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.